Hello, 7:31. 1:32, sorry. Tomorrow I'm gonna do a long stream. Good evening. Your streams are like instant positivity. I'm so glad. This is a KM ka shirt. I'm wearing it first time. Mm. Hi Manish. Hi Saloni. Glad to see evening stream. I'm also glad that you're glad. Hi MS. Thank you, Moana. Mona, love your DP. 720. That is peak. Even I also make my things around. Hi, Glimpse. How are you? How are you, Glimpse? What are you preparing for? Let's go. Hi, Harshi. Good evening, Dejani. Tomorrow I'm going to do a very long stream, probably like 12 plus hours. Hi, Nishta. Good evening. Tomorrow 12 plus hours, pakka. Tomorrow I might even sit the full day. Who knows? Who knows? Like, I'm excited. I'm preparing for NEET 26. Nice, nice. I'm good. Just be consistent. You'll do really well. You have a long. You have more than a year. Tomorrow very long stream. Today was a nice day actually. Today we were supposed to have an exam, but we didn't have an exam. So in a way, good also because I wasn't fully prepared for it. Oh, it's okay. We shall. Just write down my goals. Happy for live stream. Glad. Tomorrow long one, pak. Tomorrow also and day after also is a holiday. Day after is it? Yeah, it is. Day after is also holiday, so it's going to be a long. 2 days I'm going to stream like a lot for 2 days. 2 days I'm going to stream like like at least 12 plus hours on both days for sure. Because I'm like very in the productive mood. So let's start with some. Last Sunday was very productive. Good, good. Aditi. I have nerve. Do people enjoy an MBBS? या और भी पढ़ना पड़ता है? नहीं ऐसे कुछ नहीं. MBBS में so today I'll tell you what all I did. I then morning I studied, then I had college for 8 hours. And then I sat back after college, finished all my homework in college itself, took all the science, finished all my assignments, done. Then after that, I played table tennis with my friends for like 1.5 hours. I came back, did shopping for like another like 1 hour with my dad also came. So we had ice cream, we went shopping. And now once I finished shopping, I came back, got fresh and immediately sat to study. So if you manage your time well, you can do everything. So just because I show that I study doesn't mean I only study. You can always balance everything. So I played table tennis. I ate ice cream. I went shopping. So you can do everything. And I spent time with friends. I studied. I attended college. So you can do everything. It's just how you manage your time. Everything is about managing time. Hi Jay. Image. Bro, are you following Brahmacharya? मतलब आजकल मैं सारी जन हेलो मोनिक मैंने बहुत सारे जर्नल्स कंप्लीट किए. योर फेवरेट पेन एनर्जेल बाय फार. आई ऑलवेज हैव एनर्जेल विथ माय बैग. थैंक यू फॉर सेइंग इट. यस हेलो यूएसए. मौलिक अभी मैं 2 दिन सिर्फ बायोकेम करने वाला हूँ. मेरे को बायोकेम में कॉन्फिडेंस रिस्टोर करना. जर्नल आई थिंक मोस्टली मेरे हो गए. तुझे एंडोक्राइन का चाहिए? आई सेंड यू। तेरे पास है एंडोक्राइन का? आई आई फिनिश्ड इट आज ही। बहुत डिटेल, मैं 3 सोर्सेज से कंपाइल किया एंडोक्राइन। आई सेंड यू। वो फोटोज है ना, वो एंडोक्राइन वाले। हो गए, हाँ ठीक है। आयुष से लिख लेना इसलिए। शी वॉज द फोटो ऑफ मौलिक। मौलिक भाई फोटो दिखा। मौलिक भाई डिमांड में है। विच पेन आई यूजिंग? कुछ तो है। जस्ट 10 रुपीज का। वी नीड दिस फॉर एग्जाम्स, लाइक 10 रुपीज का बॉल पेन फॉर कंप्लीटिंग असाइनमेंट्स एंड। But ideally, I prefer using Energel. I've run out of Energel. That's agreed, bro. More like agreed. See, I have a lot of Energels. Are you two stationery lovers? Yes, you can tell by my pouch. I am a very heavy stationery lover. Tomorrow, 17 hours stream. I don't know 17, but close to. Not maybe at least 13 hours. 13 hours, so we can do for sure. I want to probably work on thumbnail also, and maybe I'll try a video also. If I feel like, if tomorrow I feel like burnt out, I'll shoot a video. Like in the break, I'll probably shoot a video tomorrow. I don't know on what. Probably on my systems, but I will. Tomorrow, one video. I think I'll try. I'll try. Where did you go for physics classes? Ravi sir, PRPT. How about 24 hours stream? भाई यूएसए तू ही कर पाएगा भाई, मेरे से तो नहीं जमेगा. Okay, चलो, let's start. Yeah, correct. It's 29. एक बार कर लेंगे 24 hours. How many before some exam or something? How many chapters one should revise per day? ऐसे कुछ नहीं यार, फुल डे पढ़ो, जितना कर सकते हो कर लो. ऐसे don't fix a chapter, just keep doing, don't think only, just do. चलो let's start. I think I'll revise whatever was taught today. That's most important. Wow. So nicely done. Hi Ansh. Maulik, yes. Maulik is always in Soja Bhai 24 hours. Maulik, your Soja Bhai is iconic. Hi Ansh. We have a chem test. Chal, let's study. मौलिक भाई 24 घंटा सोऊंगा मैं अभी तेरा एडवाइस लेकर. So, I'm putting my goals. So today we finished. So I have to do respiratory physiology. Yeah, let's study. So everyone can put their goals in the chat. I have to do respiratory physio, what was taught today. Then I will do circulatory shock. And if I get time, then GFR. GFR भी कर लूँगा. I have a submission, so I have to do that. हाँ, वो भी cranial भी करना है. Love from Nepal. Oh wow, so nice. You're from Nepal. I always want to visit Nepal, you know. So nice. You know, my parents went for their honeymoon to Nepal. I've always wanted to go to Nepal though. I live with my parents. Ghayuchil. Nice, nice, very nice. I will visit Nepal one day for sure. Nepal and Bhutan just seem like such amazing countries. Sure. Okay, we'll take the next break at maybe 9. No, I want to come to Andhra Pradesh. I'll keep my audio on. No? I like to study with you. I'm glad, Manish. Hello, Rada. How are you? So let's start. You're so happy today, yes. I'm usually very happy. Sometimes when I'm tired, I just seem down. That's why, not down, I just seem like tired. So then I'm not happy. But usually this is my like mood all the time. Sure. Let's fine. Let's start. We will take a break at 9 and we can chill at we can talk and chill at 9. Till 9 we'll study properly. Okay, I can't do that much also. I'll have to do thoda. How much ever I can do. Let's do circulatory shock. थोड़ा easy chapter है. ज़्यादा कुछ brain use नहीं करना है उसमें. Just read it. Okay. Circulatory shock. Anaphylactic shock is the shock resulting from severe generalized allergic reaction. Anaphylactic shock is the shock resulting from severe generalized allergic reaction with resultant release of histamine. Resulting from severe generalized allergic. So if you have generalized allergic reaction with resultant release of histamine, it's called vasodilation. Histamine causes vasodilation and loss of fluid into the tissues. Circulatory shock is the reduced tissue perfusion due to inadequate. I'll eat those. So dimension. You said the cardiac output far below. So shock is basically cardiac output कम है. Myocardial function, heart dysfunction, heart arrhythmia. Cardiogenic shock. It's not being able to. So let's talk about cardiogenic. अगर शॉक होगा तो भी क्या हो सकता है? Arterial pressure can be normally reduced with powerful nervous reflexes. Half an hour. Hmm. Shock itself is more. Come on, we can do it. And later. Please, shock. So for the depth of because it is super short. So outside therapy. If we try outside therapy, therapy the shock becomes really worse. Non-progressive, irreversible stage. The non-progressive, which is not progressive, also called compensatory stage. Non-progressive, compensatory stage. Then there's progressive or non-progressive or compensatory. Then there's a progressive, and after progressive, we have something called as irreversible. So you can't change. Hmm. Hypovolemia is called the hemorrhagic shock. Hypervolemia. Okay. Hypovolemia. Hypovolemia. Circulatory shock. If it's due to the heart region, it's called cardiogenic shock. Cardiogenic shock or circulatory shock. Type is cardiogenic shock. Cardiogenic shock is a type of circulatory shock. Hmm. Shock. Elastic principles caused by. Now, hypovolemia means the diminished blood volume. Hemorrhage is most common hemorrhage. देखिए तो फिल्म में plasma loss. So one is hemorrhage, one is plasma loss. Loss of red blood cells. Even after this, markedly. Okay. So प्लाज्मा लॉस हो रहा है बट आरबीसी नहीं लॉस हो रहा है या कैसे intestinal obstruction may severely reduce plasma volume. Oh yeah, maybe even kidneys. Intestinal obstruction. Distraction on the intestine in the intestinal obstruction partly blocks the venous blood flow in the intestinal wall, which increases the intestinal capillary blood pressure. This pressure increases it will leak. Hmm. Oh, oh, damn. So in intestinal obstruction, what happens is there is loss of plasma, but no loss of RBC. Very important. Why? Because अपना distension हो रहा है. Distension is causing blocking the venous flow. Venous flow मतलब interstitial capillary pressure, hydrostatic बढ़ा. Hydrostatic pressure मतलब leak more. If it leaks more, it go in the interstitial spaces. Correct. It will go to the intestinal walls. Okay. Intestinal walls and intestinal lumen. Correct. Lost fluid has a high protein content. Oh, then if it's a high protein, it'll be non-pitting edema. No, no, it's the edema. नहीं. These are reduced total blood plasma protein as well as reduced plasma volume. तो प्रोटीन भी जा रहा है और प्लाज्मा भी जा रहा है. ओके. So there's loss of both plasma as well as the plasma volume itself and the proteins present in the plasma. That is due to intestinal obstruction. Severe burns or other denuding conditions of the skin cause plasma loss through the denuded skin areas. If there's a severe burn, then what will happen? The denuded skin, loss of plasma. Okay. So that the plasma volume becomes markedly reduced. The hypovolemic shock that results in plasma loss is one of the same characteristics as the shock caused by hemorrhage. An additional complicating factor, the blood viscosity increases greatly. हाँ, correct. बिकॉज आरबीसी ज़्यादा है तो viscosity बढ़ेगी and this increase in blood viscosity exacerbates the sluggishness of blood flow. More RBC, so more sluggish. Hmm. ठीक है. So there'll be intestinal obstruction, there'll be severe burns, there'll be dehydration. Severe burns or denuding of the skin. Dehydration due to many reasons like sweating, diarrhea, vomiting, inadequate intake, loss of aldosterone. Now, hypovolemic shock is caused by trauma. Hypovolemic shock is caused by trauma also. Due to trauma. Hypovolemic shock due to trauma. Trauma will be caused in certain cases where there is inadequate oxygen supply. Hmm. Trauma. So capillary is confusion of the body. Excessive confusion of the body. Rupture of capillaries is called contusion. Rupture of capillaries is called contusion. Fine. Time every page. So this time make sure you don't overshoot time. Go with the flow. Okay. But 10% of total volume can be removed with almost no effect on arterial pressure, no effect on arterial pressure or cardiac output. 10% of the total volume is removed without any effect on the arterial pressure nor the cardiac output. So cardiac output, 10% of total blood can be removed, 10%. But greater loss usually diminishes the cardiac output first. Greater blood loss usually diminishes the cardiac output first and leads to the arterial pressure. So we miss the cardiac output first, and then the first cardiac output will decrease, and then the arterial pressure. Cardiac output पहले कम होगा, both of which fall to zero. When 40 to 45% total volume has been removed. Fall to zero when 40 to 45 volume has been removed. Sympathetic reflex compensations in shock. There's special value to maintain arterial pressure. Sympathetic reflex compensations. The decrease in arterial pressure after hemorrhage as well as decrease in pressure in the pulmonary arteries and veins in the thorax causes powerful sympathetic reflexes as explained in chapter 9. These reflexes stimulate the sympathetic vasoconstrictor system and most tissues, resulting in three important effects. The arterioles constrict in most parts of the systemic circulation of the total peripheral resistance. The veins and venous returns constrict, increasing the TPR. Veins and venous reservoirs constrict, thereby helping to maintain adequate venous return and diminished blood volume. Heart rate increases markedly, sometimes from normal 72 it does as 160 to 180 beats per minute. From 72 beats per minute, it's going to 160 to 180. In absence of the sympathetic reflex, only 15 minutes of blood volume will be removed over a period of 30 minutes. Hmm. Before a person dies. In contrast, a person will sustain 30 to 40% loss of volume when the reflexes are intact. Oh, you can sustain a 30 to 40% loss in of blood when the reflexes are intact. अगर reflexes intact होंगे, you can suffer 32%. But if the reflexes are not intact, then only 15 to 20% loss can be incurred. Fine. So it's fast. It's going good. Effect of hemorrhage on the cardiac output and arterial pressure. Cardiac output and arterial pressure percentage of normal total percentage of blood removed. Mm, so when 0% of blood is removed, the cardiac output and this are normal. When you're removing blood, first the arterial pressure is sort of weirdly moving, and when you're removing lots and lots, the cardiac output and arterial pressure keeps decreasing. Okay. Oh, at 45% of blood removed, both become zero. That's crazy. Both blood pressure and arterial pressure. Okay, fine. Next. Next page. Greater effect of the sympathetic nervous system in maintaining arterial pressure than in maintaining cardiac output. Effect of sympathetic nervous system in maintaining arterial pressure. Effect is more on arterial pressure than in maintaining cardiac output. So the arterial pressure maintenance is more important than the cardiac output by the sympathetic basically. Sympathetic maintains the T arterial more than the cardiac output in terms of whatever. Hemorrhage person articulation maintained near normal levels in the hemorrhagic person longer than in maintaining cardiac output. So the arterial pressure is maintained longer. Arterial pressure is maintained longer in the person rather than the cardiac. The reason for this difference is that geared more for maintaining arterial pressure more than cardiac output. They increase the arterial pressure mainly by increasing the total peripheral resistance rather than increase the arterial pressure, which has no beneficial effect on cardiac output. However, the similar constriction of the veins is important to keep the venous return and cardiac output from falling too much. In addition, their role in maintaining arterial pressure, especially interesting, is the second plateau occurring at about 50 mm in the arterial pressure curve of 52.1. Arterial pressure curve 7 plateau occurring at 50 mmHg in the action. Arterial pressure curve 50 mmHg. Figure 52.1. I mean 50%. Okay. The second plateau results from activation of central nervous system. Results from the this is the second plateau, and that is resulting from what? The ischemic response. Results in the activation of central nervous system ischemic response, which causes an extreme stimulation of the synthetic. It causes an extreme stimulation when the brain begins to experience lack of oxygen or excess buildup of CO2. अगर ब्रेन में एक्सेस CO2 जाएगा या लेस ऑक्सीजन जाएगा तो देन देयर विल बी एन इस्चेमिक रिस्पांस इन दैट इफेक्ट सेंट्रलाइजेशन लार्ज डिस्टेंस ब्रेन टू लो. Hmm. Local blood flow is excellent. Prevents moderate decrease in arterial pressure from significantly decreasing the blood flow. Therefore, blood flow through the heart and the brain is maintained essentially at normal levels as long as the arterial pressure does not fall below 70. Now, stage of the shock. Coming to stage of shock, you have non-progressive shock or non-progressive, that is compensated shock. Second is progressive shock caused by a vicious cycle of cardiovascular deterioration. And third, irreversible shock. In that will ensue death. Okay, we can finish. We can finish. Non-progressive shock, compensated shock. it should sell fast. The factors that cause the person to recover moderate decrease of shock are all the negative feedback control mechanisms of the circulation. Negative feedback, very important. Negative feedback control mechanisms of the circulation. Negative feedback control mechanisms attempt to return the cardiac output and antidiuretic. Your baroreceptor reflex, which elicits a powerful sympathetic stimulation of the circulation. CNS ischemic response, a powerful stimulation of the body is not activated signal below 50 mm. Reverse stress relaxation of the circulatory system, which causes the blood vessels to contract around diminished blood volume. So the blood volume that is available more frequently. The blood volume that is available more adequately fills the circulation. Increased secretion of renin by the kidney and formation of angiotensin 2. There's increased secretion of renin by the kidneys and formation of angiotensin 2, which consists of peripheral arterioles and decreased cardiac. Also, what decreased output of water and salt by the kidney both with huh? Decreased output of water and salt. मतलब increased secretion of posterior pituitary vasopressin (ADH), which constricts the peripheral arterioles and veins, greatly increases water retention of the kidneys. Increased secretion of adrenal medulla, epinephrine, norepinephrine, which constricts the peripheral arterioles and veins, increases the heart rate. Compensating mechanism returns volume back to normal, including absorption of large quantities of fluid from the intestinal tract. You absorb large quantities of fluid from the intestinal tract. Absorption of fluid into the blood capillaries from the interstitial spaces. Blood capillaries from interstitial spaces. Conservation of water and salt by the kidney. Increased thirst and appetite for salt, which makes the person drink water and eat salty foods if they're able to do so. This immediately reflects an increased secretion. That makes me realize I should also drink. Antidiuretic hormone. Increase thirst and appetite for salt, drink water and eat salty foods if they're able to do so. This may reflect an increased secretion of catecholamines. So you have increased thirst and increased appetite for salt. More thirst, more appetite. Maybe one drink more eat salty foods. The sympathetic reflexes and increased secretion of catecholamines by adrenal medulla. You have increased sympathetic and increased secretion of catecholamines by the adrenal medulla. More sympathetic, more adrenal medulla provides rapid help towards bringing the recovery because they become maximally activated within 30 seconds. Maximally activated within the 30 seconds to a few minutes after hemorrhage. Help, rapid help toward bringing about a recovery because they become maximally activated at within 30 seconds to a few minutes after hemorrhage. The angiotensin and vasopressin mechanisms, as well as the reverse stress relaxation that causes the contraction of the blood vessels and venous reservoirs, all require 10 minutes to 1 hour to respond completely. So this takes about 10 minutes to 1 hour. That's an intermediate idiot, but they aid greatly in increasing the arterial pressure or increasing the circulatory filling pressure, thereby increasing the venous return of the heart. Finally, readjustment of blood volume by the absorption of fluid from the interstitial spaces and intestinal tract. Readjustment of blood volume by the absorption of fluid from the interstitial spaces and intestinal tract, as well as oral ingestion and absorption of additional quantities of water and salt. May require 1 to 48 hours, but eventually recovery takes place provided the shock does not become severe enough to into the paralysis stage. It's called the vicious cycle of cardiovascular deterioration. So it's due to a vicious cycle of cardiovascular deterioration. Hmm. A progressive shock is caused by a vicious cycle of cardiovascular deterioration. Show some of the positive feedback that despite that further depress the cardiac output in shock, thus causing the shock to become more progressive. Some of the more important feedbacks are described in the following sections. Cardiac depression. When the arterial pressure falls low enough, the coronary blood flow decreases. When the arterial pressure falls low enough, the coronary blood flow decreases below that required for adequate nutrition. Below the adequate nutrition of the myocardium, the coronary blood flow will decrease below the adequate nutrition of the myocardium, weakening the heart muscle and decreasing the cardiac output even more. So it will decrease the cardiac output even more, and the myocardium will be affected. Okay. So it will affect the myocardium and it will affect the cardiac output even more. Mm, falls low enough for the adequate below that the adequate nutrition required for the myocardium. Coronary blood flow decreases below, weakening the heart muscle and decreasing. You're weakening the heart muscle and decreasing the cardiac output more. There's a positive feedback cycle develops whereby shock causes more and more severe. The one of the most important features of progressive shock, whether it be hemorrhagic in origin or caused in another way, is eventual progressive deterioration of the heart. In early stages of the shock is generally lower in the condition of the person, partly because deterioration of the heart is not severe in the first hour or so of the shock. The deterioration is not severe during the first hour or so, but meaning the heart has tremendous reserve capability that normally allows it to pump 300 in the early stages of shock. The deterioration plays very little role in the condition of the person in the early stages, partly because deterioration of the heart is not severe during the first hour or so of the shock. Hmm. That has tremendous reserve capability that normally allows it to pump 300 to 4% more blood than is required by the body for adequate tissue nutrition. It can pump 300 to 400 more percent more blood than what is required for adequate than is required for adequate body nutrition. It has a reserve capability in the later stages of the shock. However, the deterioration of the heart is probably the most important factor in the final lethal progressive vasomotor failure. In the early stages of shock, various circulatory reflexes cause intense activity of the sympathetic nervous system. This, as discussed, helps mm, delay the depression of cardiac output and especially when decrease arterial health. This is a component that diminishes blood flow to the brain vasomotor brain's vasomotor and depresses the cardiac center so much that it too becomes progressively less active, finally totally inactive. For instance, in the first 4 to 8 minutes, the complete cardiac circulatory arrest to the brain causes the most intense of all synthetic discharges, and when the vasomotor center becomes so depressed that no further evidence of synthetic discharge can be demonstrated further. Fortunately, the vasomotor center usually does not fail in the early stages of the shock if arterial pressure remains above 30 mmHg. So arterial pressure remains above the 30 mmHg, it usually does not fail. This is called vasomotor failure. There will be cardiac depression, coronary blood flow कम हुआ उसको cardiac depression बोलेंगे. Vasomotor failure is when the diminished blood veins vasomotor center and it is When it remains above 30 mmHg, there will be no safer change. The blockage of very small vessels by the sludged blood. Blockage of very small vessels by the sludged blood. Blockage. In time blockage occurs in many of the very small blood vessels in the circulatory system, and this blockage also causes the shock to progress. It causes blockage, and the initial cause of blockage is sluggish blood flow in the microvessels. Blockage is sluggish blood flow because tissue metabolism continues despite the low flow. Tissue metabolism will continue. Large amounts of acid, both carbonic acid and lactic acid, continue to empty the local blood flow. There's a sluggish flow, and because of this, tissue metabolism will continue despite. Chal, chal, chal. There's a large amounts of okay. Lactic acid, carbonic acid, and acid, both lactic acid, empty into the blood vessels and greatly increase the local acidity of the blood. Thus, the deterioration products from the ischemic tissues cause local blood agglutination, resulting in minor clots, leading to small plugs in blood. The vessels don't become plugged and increase tendency for bloods to stick. And the mixing of difficult blood sludged blood. Okay. So what all are we doing basically? We're doing कि progressive shock में क्या होता है? Oh, this is part of progressive shock. So there's cardiac depression, there is vasomotor failure, cardiac depression, vasomotor failure, and we have sludged blood, vasomotor failure, cardiac depression, increased capillary permeability, So capillaries ही ज़्यादा permeable होंगे. If the capillaries are only more permeable, then definitely more fluid will leak out, which is bad. More, more increase after many years of capillary hypoxia and lack of other nutrients. They gradually increases and large quantity of fluid begin to transduce into the tissues. The phenomenon decreases the blood volume even more with the resultant factor further decrease in cardiac output, making the shock more severe. Capillary hypoxia does not cause increased capillary volume until late stages of prolonged shock. Release of toxins by the ischemic tissue. Toxins, this is called toxemia. The shock has been suggested to cause the tissues to release toxic substances such as histamine, serotonin, and tissue enzymes. Histamine, serotonin, and tissue enzymes that cause further deterioration. Experiments suggest the significance of at least one toxin, endotoxin. Endotoxin is one such toxin. Endotoxin. Endotoxin is a toxin which is released by ischemic tissues, and that this is the progressive stage. So first was non-progressive or compensatory. This is the absolute progressive stage where it's getting worse and worse. If not treated, then it will lead to death. Cardiac depression caused by endotoxin. Now there's something called as cardiac depression due to the endotoxin. The endotoxin released from the bodies is released from the bodies of dead gram-negative bacteria in the intestines. There are dead gram-negative bacteria in the intestines, and those gram-negative bacteria will cause the release of these gram-negative bacteria will cause endotoxin release. Endotoxin are released by the gram-negative bacteria in the intestine. Gram-negative bacteria in the intestine. Fine. Diminished blood flow. Okay, different type of positive feedback that can lead to progressive shock. Now, decreased cardiac output will cause decreased arterial pressure, decreased systemic blood flow, decreased cardiac nutrition, decreased nutrition of tissues, intravascular clotting. Decreased nutrition of tissues will cause decreased nutrition of brain. Decreased vasomotor activity that is causing vascular dilation. Vasomotor causes vasoconstriction, so there will be vascular dilation that causes venous pooling in the blood. Venous pooling of the blood will lead to decreased venous return. Now, decreased venous return will lead back to decreased cardiac output. Decreased nutrition of vascular system causes, अगर nutrition ही कम होगा, then you'll have vascular dilation, increased capillary permeability, decreased blood volume, decreased venous return, decreased cardiac output. Tissue ischemia causes release of toxins like endotoxins, which will cause cardiac depression. Tissue ischemia causes release of toxins, mainly endotoxin, histamine, heparin, histamine, serotonin. Endotoxin causes cardiac depression. Cardiac depression will cause decreased cardiac output. These are the positive feedback mechanisms that are affecting the progression of the shock. Intravascular clotting will cause decreased venous return, and that will cause decreased cardiac output. The venous clot through the intestine often causes enhanced formation and enhanced formation. It will cause enhanced formation and absorption of this toxic substance. Circulating toxin then causes increased cellular metabolism despite inadequate nutrition of the cells. Oh, increased cellular metabolism despite inadequate nutrition of the cells, which has specific effect on the heart muscle, causing cardiac depression. Oh, so this endotoxin will still increase the metabolism, even though they don't have any nutrition. It still increases the endotoxins will increase the motor. Oh. Now there is generalized cellular deterioration. Generalized cellular deterioration. As shock becomes severe, many stages of generalized cellular deterioration occur throughout the body. One organ especially affected is the liver, as illustrated in 52.3. Okay. Cellular deterioration occurs is the liver. The liver is especially affected mainly due to the lack of enough nutrients to support the normally high rate of metabolism in the liver cells, also partly because of the exposure of liver cells to any vascular toxin or other metabolic factors occurring in shock. Among the damaging cellular effects that are known to occur in most body cells are following: active transport of among the damaging effects known to occur in the most body tissues are active transport of sodium potassium to the cell membrane is greatly diminished. Active transport of sodium potassium is diminished as the sodium and chloride accumulate in the cells and potassium is lost from the cells. Potassium is lost from cells and sodium will accumulate in the cells. सोडियम किधर जा रहा है, सोडियम सेल्स में रह रहा है और पोटेशियम लॉस हो रहा है. Correct. The cells will begin to swell. Mitochondrial activity in the liver cells as well as many other tissues becomes severely depressed. Mitochondrial activity is depressed. Active transport of sodium and potassium is reduced. एक्टिव ट्रांसपोर्ट कम हुआ, माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया का एक्टिविटी कम हुआ, lysosomes in area begin to break open. The intracellular release of hydrolysis that begin further intercellular lysosomes will break open. Cellular metabolism nutrients such as glucose eventually becomes greatly depressed in the last stage of shock. So cellular metabolism of nutrients like glucose, जो भी nutrients है like glucose, they become greatly depressed in the last stages of the shock. The actions of some hormones are depressed as well, including the 100% depression of the actions of insulin. Insulin 100% depressed हो रहा है. So depression of insulin, glucose becomes greatly depressed. Lysosomes break open. Mitochondria are depressed mainly in the liver and other tissues. Mitochondria of the liver. Active transport of sodium potassium is diminished. Sodium is going in the cell. Potassium is going out of the cell. All these effects contribute for the deterioration of the body. Lungs which eventually develop pulmonary edema. Okay, pulmonary edema occurs and the poor ability to oxygenate blood. The heart thereby further depressing its contractility. Patchy areas of tissue necrosis occur because of patchy flows in different organs. One, two, three, four. Chale, you can do it fast. Okay. Patchy areas of tissue necrosis. Now, here patchy areas of tissue necrosis occur because of patchy flows in different organs. Patchy areas of tissue necrosis will occur. Patchy areas of tissue necrosis occur because of patchy flows in different organs. Not all cells of the body are equally damaged or struggle with sometimes a better blood supply than others. For example, cell digestion, arterial cells, capillaries receive better nutrition than venous. Okay. Arterial ends cells closer receive better nutrition than the venous ends. Therefore, the more nutritive deficiency occurs on the venous end of capillaries than elsewhere. For instance, it shows an necrosis in the center of a liver lobule, the portion of the lobule that is last to be exposed to the blood as it passes through the liver sinusoids. Similar punctate lesions occur in the heart. The cardiac lesions, there are punctate lesions in the heart involved in finding the in leading to final irreversible stage. Punctate lesions are seen in the heart in the progressive stage. Punctate lesions of the heart. This is the necrosis of the central portion of the liver lobule during severe circulatory shock. Central portion of liver lobule means there is necrosis. Necrosis in the central portion of liver lobule. Deteriorative lesions can also occur in the kidneys, especially in the epithelium of kidney tubules. Epithelium of kidney tubules means there are deteriorative lesions in the epithelium of kidney tubules, leading to kidney failure and occasionally uremic death several days later. Uremic death and epithelium of kidney tissues is damaged. Epithelium is leading to kidney failure. Epithelium is leading to kidney failure. There is deterioration of the lungs also occurs to respiratory diseases, and death will occur several days later. It's called the shock lung syndrome. So basically, there are punctate lesions in the heart, and that will cause further deterioration. There are lesions in the epithelium. Okay, fast. Epithelium in the kidney tissues leading to kidney failure. There will be punctate lesions, epithelium of kidney tubule lesions into kidney failure, and uremic death. That is called shock lung syndrome. Shock lung syndrome. Oh, it can cause respiratory diseases. What? Deterioration of lungs. Okay, lungs can also occur, and that will cause respiratory distress. Oh, so lungs are affected, heart is affected, kidneys affected. Lungs, heart, kidney, all the major lungs, heart, kidney, liver, mitochondria, lysosomes, you name it. Baapre. Acidosis. Metabolic derangements that occur in the shocked tissue can lead to acidosis throughout the body. This results from poor delivery of oxygen to the tissues, which greatly diminishes oxidative metabolism of food. So when this occurs, cells obtain most energy from the anaerobic process of glycolysis, which leads to excessive lactic acid in the blood. In addition, poor blood flow through the tissues prevents the normal removal of CO2. Reacts locally in the cells to form high concentration of intercellular carbonic acid, which reacts with various tissue chemicals to form additional intercellular acetic substances. Thus, as it and local tissue acids lead to further progressive erosion. Now, positive feedback, deterioration of tissues in shock, and the vicious cycle of progressive shock. Okay, this is a easy taper. ठीक है यार हो जाएगा. You can finish before 9:15 also. Peak expiratory flow rate. Peak expiratory flow rate. Hmm. Okay. Acidosis and shock, metabolic derangements. ठीक है. The carbon dioxide reacts locally in the tissues with water from hydrogen and intercellular carbon dioxide reacts in various tissues from intercellular acidic substances. Positive feedback, deterioration of tissues in shock, and the vicious circle of progressive shock. So there is positive feedback, deterioration, and vicious circle of progressive shock. All the factors that discussed in the above can lead to further progression of shock. There are types of positive feedback. Each increase in the degree of shock causes a further increase in the shock. However, positive feedback does not necessarily lead to a vicious cycle. The vicious cycle develops depending on the intensity of the positive feedback. In mild degrees of shock, the negative feedback mechanism of the circulation sympathetic reflexes, reverse stress relaxation mechanism of the blood reservoirs, absorption of fluid from the into the blood from the intestinal interstitial. What? So it does not positive feedback in mild degrees of shock. Mild degrees of shock, negative feedback such as sympathetic reflexes, reverse stress relaxation mechanisms of blood reservoirs, absorption of fluid into the blood circulation, and easily overcome the positive feedback and therefore cause recovery. In severe degrees of shock, however, the deteriorative severe degrees of shock, the deteriorative feedback mechanisms become more and more powerful. Such rapid deterioration of the jugular or normal negative feedback systems acting together cannot return the cardiac output to normal. All negative अगर एक साथ भी काम किए ना तो they cannot wow. Considering once again the positive and vicious cycle level one can understand whether there is a critical cardiac output level above which a person in shock recovers and below which a person enters vicious cycle. Irreversible shock. After shock has progressed to a certain stage, the transfusion of any other type of therapy becomes incapable of saving the person's life. The person that be irreversible therapy can, on rare occasions, return the arterial pressure and even the cardiac output to normal on an average shock wave, but the circulatory system never, nonetheless continues to deteriorate and the death ensues in a few minutes to few hours. 52.4 demonstrate the effect that the transfusion during the irreversible stage can sometimes cause the cardiac output to return nearly normal, how the cardiac output soon begins to fall again. So basically, if a short periods it can go to normal or near normal, and subsequent oxygen have less and less effect. By this time, multiple deteriorations occur in muscles of the heart that necessarily affect the muscles, may not necessarily affect the heart's really pump, but over long period depress the heart's pumping out to cause death. We understand why so much tissue damage occurs that so many destructive enzymes have been released. Destructive enzymes have been released in the body fluid, so much acidosis has developed and so many destructive factors are not progressed that even normal cardiac output for 3 minutes cannot reverse the deteriorating situation. Therefore, in severe shock, a stage is eventually reached where the person will die even though the vigorous therapy may eventually turn the cardiac output to normal parameters. Depletion of the cellular high energy phosphate reserves. Depletion of high energy phosphate reserves in the irreversible shock. High energy phosphate reserves in the tissues of the body, especially in the liver and the heart, are greatly diminished in severe shock. Especially, essentially, all the creatine phosphate has been degraded. All the creatinine phosphate has been degraded. Adenosine triphosphate has been downgraded. Adenosine triphosphate monophosphate. Eventually, adenosine. क्रिएटिनिन फॉस्फेट पूरा गया है बेसिकली हाई एनर्जी फॉस्फेट्स ही नहीं है एटीपी एडीपी एएमपी adenosine much of the adenine diffuses out of the cell into the circulating blood and is converted into uric acid, the substance that cannot re-enter the cells to reconstitute the adenosine phosphate system. New adenosine can be synthesized at a rate of only 2% of the normal cellular amount an hour, meaning that once the high energy phosphate stores of the cells are depleted, they are difficult to replenish. That is one of the most devastating end results in shock and is one of the most significant for the development of final stage of irreversibility is the cellular depletion of high energy compounds. Other types of shock now. Coming to other types of shock, you have neurogenic shock that is increased vascular capacity is called neurogenic shock causes vasodilation. Then we have anaphylactic shock and histamine shock, septic shock. Then we have mm, circulatory arrest and the effect of circulatory arrest on the brain. On okay, now there's something called neurogenic shock. Neurogenic shock is called increased vascular capacity is neurogenic shock. Neurogenic shock is increased vascular capacity. मतलब vascular capacity बढ़ रहा है. Shock occasionally results without the loss of blood volume. Instead, the vascular capacity increases so much that even the normal amount of blood is incapable of filling the circulatory system adequately. What? The capacity is only increasing that even the normal amount of blood is incapable of filling the circulatory system. One of the major causes of the condition is sudden loss of vasomotor tone throughout the body, resulting in massive dilation of the veins. There's massive dilation of the veins because of sudden loss of vasomotor tone. Tone ही नहीं है vasomotor, and that is why there is massive dilation of the veins. The resulting condition is known as neurogenic shock. The role of the vascular capacity in helping to regulate the circulatory function of system 36 and 41 were responded that either an increase in vascular capacity or a decrease in blood volume reduces the mean systemic filling pressure. Increase in vascular capacity or a decrease in the blood volume. So अगर vascular capacity बढ़ा या blood volume कम हुआ, either of the cases there will be यार in vascular capacity or a decrease in the blood volume. Hmm. Oh, this is the main system. These are the main cause of vascular dilation is called venous. So that's called venous pooling. Okay, so vein pool हो रहा है और वो जा ही नहीं रहा, मतलब वो veins में ही accumulate होते बैठ रहा है, कोई कुछ जा ही नहीं रहा in the back into the heart. Fine, that's called venous pooling of the blood. Now, causing neurogenic shock. Some neurogenic factors that cause loss of vasomotor tone include the following: deep general anesthesia. What is neurogenic shock? Sudden loss of vasomotor tone, massive dilation of the veins. So, loss of the vasomotor tone will increase the neurogenic shock so much that vasomotor paralysis occurs, resulting neurogenic shock. Spinal anesthesia extends all the way up to spinal cord, blocks the sympathetic outflow. It blocks the sympathetic outflow from the nervous system and can be potent cause of neurogenic shock. Brain damage is often caused. So there's deep general anesthesia, there is brain damage and spinal anesthesia. Deep general anesthesia, spinal anesthesia, and brain damage is the cause of is often a cause of vasomotor paralysis. Many patients who had brain concussion or contusion of the basal regions of the brain. So if you have a contusion or a concussion, vasomotor paralysis. Brain concussion or contusion. Also, even though brain ischemia for a few minutes almost always causes extreme vasomotor stimulation and increased blood pressure, prolonged ischemia. So we have vasomotor ischemia. Okay. So if you are activating the prolonged ischemia for more than 5 to 10 minutes, no, that will cause the inactivation of the vasomotor neurons only. Consequent decrease in the arterial blood pressure and development of severe neurogenic shock. ठीक है, done. Chapter is not done. But ठीक है, we finished anaphylactic shock, we finished histamine shock. We have to do as well. Septic shock. ठीक है, अभी बस ठीक है. It's 9 o'clock. It's complete. Just read the chats. Tomorrow 17 hours. I don't know, but at least 12 plus I'm thinking. I'm back after 3 days. Hi Shruti. Gross anat की journal. Yes. पढ़ाई कब start होना? Once I slept for 12 hours. Completing circular motion. Nice. How can I improve my score in biology? Just give a lot of repeated revisions. Repeated revisions are important. My email doesn't exist under this name. How did you study for MNCT? I didn't do anything per se for CET. I just did with my NEET prep only. Hi Madhar. You like you didn't get my email. Arnav Patik. What all chapters are there? Wasn't visible. I mean Mulun Raj, how did you come up with this? God. We have friction tomorrow. यूएसए इतना दिमाग पढ़ाई में लगा लेते. अब बोलो तो लगा देंगे. नहीं मत लगाओ, कंपटीशन वैसे ही काफी. Can you do the same with chapters your last time? Was a pro at this. Last time, so even I scored 2 less. You'll do better. Yes, you all will do better. Don't worry. 10 years center, I will buy the whole building so that you can be AR1. अरे what's your idea? भाई इतना कैसे पढ़ लेते हो? ऐसे एलिमिनेट कर देते हैं आपके लिए कंपटीशन. कोथिंबीर वड़ी क्या है? Mine is Sonashi was the same logo DM me that. I mean aim that. You're too smooth. एकदम से जज्बात बदल दी. I am here to chill, not to study. It's boring. Please come and hand out break. We'll meet USA in Ames Delhi. Yeah, even I have to meet USA now. Hi Soumya. Hi Chirag. Oh, you have a mock tomorrow. All the best. I already thought that I have reached the darkest of the dark, but ahead of me. Matlab, hierarchy. Effect is on arterial pressure. Hi Robo. I'll activate an email account under this name. Sam, I'm passing my because I wanted to tell you my results came out from mocks went from 91 to 94 percentile. Wow, very nice. Tell me how do I boost more? You can do it. Just keep revising again. That's most important. This is an islet talk, aspirant talking. Oh hi, wait. I've never heard of this exam. Oh wow, it's a law, all India law entrance. Oh, it's not like CLAT, yeah. CLAT is is it tougher? It's usually tougher than CLAT. Oh wow, all the best. I can send them from next week on. My email also same not Telegram also. Hi Stati. Hi Sanatani. Finally finished preview. Good, good. Nutrition is boring. It's okay. Just I guess just keep doing it. हो जाएगा. Yes, I will have water. Good night, Mona. What thing did you improve in last days of 11th before FST? Just make sure you finish everything. Like, don't go too much behind one topic. Make sure you complete the entire portion at least once. That's most important. How was your session? It was very good. I was very productive today. How was your test? अरे वो आज टेस्ट हुआ ही नहीं. Like sir didn't keep it only. He postponed it. We had a lecture instead. How was your session? Your second advance. Then I think how can you ठीक है then चलो. We'll end. We'll meet tomorrow at 4:30. I also want to sleep and spend time with parents also. So we'll meet. Bye. Bye guys. See you tomorrow. Good night.